Hi again. To some of you. Some of you, you've just got here. Hi. Wow, lots of people this today. Ooh, Stitches by Meg says, I'm all caught up today. Incredible. Okay, so I think you guys are all going to hate me. And I'm sorry. I'm just going to apologize right now. But I'm doing it on Monday, so you have all week to finish it. And then there's catch-up day on Saturday. So we're going to do these two big Monstera leaves. They're one of my favorite plants. Absolutely love them. And we're going to do a satin stitch and fill them all in. Now, please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. I know a lot of you do not like satin stitch very much. But they do, it looks really nice with these big kind of leaves like this. So I'll show you one that I've already done. I think you saw it in one of the posts earlier this week. They look like this. And I think they look so beautiful when they're all done. And by doing the satin stitch, you learn how to work over big areas at one time. And then we'll outline it later in the week or even next week if you need to. And I'll show you how to do the big lines to make sure that it's kind of filling up the whole space and they're all parallel. So pick your color. Let's go. I'm doing 00227. It's like quite, so this is the one I did for the fly stitch and fern stitch for the free Stitchalong. So this one's just a little bit lighter than that, but it's kind of like the same color tone. So it's like a genuine green, like a golf course green almost, you know, that like lush green color. And I'm going to use all 6 strands. You can obviously use less if you want to, but I'm going to use all 6. Plus I have an entire skein of that, so I'm not worried if I need to get more, you know? Okay, so I've just put it on my needle. I'm doing one little knot at the very end. We've done satin stitch before with all 6 strands, but really the way that the leaves are for real, when you look at a real Monstera leaf plant, they are really nice and smooth and they're almost a little bit shiny. So I almost did a split stitch for this to fill it in and to make it a little bit easier. But because they are like a nice flat shiny leaf, do you know what I mean? This just works better. So like I said, please don't kill me. I apologize. But we're going to make it easy. So the first, oh, Jessie, can you just move over a little bit? Can you just scooch? Just, yeah, there you go. Oh, good job. Good job. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is definitely draw the lines with this because it's a big area and it's really easy to get them a little bit wonky at the very, very end. So what I'm going to do is make these lines. And I always like to have my Monstera leaves like on an angle, not just completely straight across. And they're going to end in this little middle section like this. And they don't have to be really close together, the lines, because they're just guides. And they don't have to be even either, so don't get like, oh my gosh, some of them are closer together. Some of them are farther apart. It's totally fine. So I've done the one side. The only thing that you really need to watch out for here is these little pieces here, because you might have to do an extra little stitch. So I'm just gonna go on the other side. What's on my pen today? Like a fuzzy or something. All right, it looks mental when you look at it, but it's really not, I promise. So all we're gonna do, I like to start in the middle, as you know. I hate starting kind of right on the edge because it's really easy to get, one, to not fill that shape properly, but two, it's really easy to kind of get off to a bad start. Whereas if you start even in the middle, like right here, you'll get a nice long line, and then you can continue with that. So yeah, here we go. So obviously the traditional satin stitches, up on one side, down on the other. You can make this a little bit easier and save thread by going next to it, like this, and back up. Sometimes those stitches don't lay super flat though, so just kind of keep that in mind. Sometimes I'll like alternate. And we are going to do an outline, so don't worry if they're like a little bit crazy. Yeah, see, sometimes they don't lay very straight. And then for these ones, we're just going to fill in these little pieces. So like I said, I hardcore apologize because I think some of you are really going to hate me after this, but they are going to look amazing. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. And if you get a little bit off, it's okay. You don't fret. Don't freak out. Just gonna do one more there, and then this is that end finished. I'll jump just over here and continue. Don't forget there's a knot there, so you might like pull the threads through. So what do we think so far? Hi, Sarah. Whoopsies. The only thing I don't like with satin stitch like this is if you pull too hard, you will get the puckering. So just be careful. I noticed it on my own just now. So just be a little bit mindful that as you're pulling, you don't want to like pull it so hard because you don't want them to pucker. By them, I mean, I'm using all 6 strands. So this is an 8-inch hoop, and I'm using all 6 strands. So if you've got a smaller one, then you could definitely use 3 and get away with it. I think one more tiny stitch there. And I will say, by the end of this, you guys are going to be like super good at Satin Stitch. After last week, I broke my middle finger nail off. I've just had to like file them all down like really short, and they all feel so like nubby. Do you know what I mean? But it looks really bad having like all pretty long fingernails and then one that was like so short. Once you get going, it does tend to go pretty quickly. Satin Stitch. And I promise you, it will look really good when it's finished. Just a couple tips that I've seen from people is, one, always remember to tighten your fabric. So I don't want to see any loose fabric at all. Your fabric should be tight like a drum. Make it sound like a drum. The other thing is, like I said last week, stop comparing yourself to other people. They might have been doing embroidery way longer than you. Maybe you've just started. Maybe you had a bad day, and that's why it's, you know, you've kind of like taken it out on your stitches almost, because I've had that as well, where nothing seems to work. Your thread's always getting knotted. We feel like it's just a pain in the butt. Just put it down, walk away. And the third thing is, if you look at something on your hoop and you hate it, you will always look at that part of your hoop and hate it. So my advice, even though you didn't ask for it, is to take it out and fix it right there. Because if not, you'll always look at that little piece and be like, I should have redone that flower. I should have redone that flower. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. So save yourself some hassle and just take it out and redo it. I'm almost halfway done. Ugh, pulled my needle out. Just that one stitch left. Okay, so my big problem is that I can never get my two sides of my satin stitch to look the same. So we'll see how I do. Like, I can seem to always find fault in the one side of my satin stitch over the other. Too far away. nice little tiny stitches. I think that you always get the picture, so I probably won't do this one as well. I'll just try and finish this one up. Jessie, come on. She went out digging in the backyard this morning. So that was fun. This is just Kona cotton. Normally I use just a regular like this. So this one is just a little bit tighter woven. And don't worry about this edge right here. It is fine. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. Do a little knot in the back. And you can totally tell where I tried to save thread a little bit and did it next to instead of, you know, up one side, down the other. I think I did it a lot on this one. Yeah, look at this one. So all of these are the thread saver method, where I went up and then next to and then down, then next to and back and next to and down. So there's like hardly any regular. Let me do one more just in case. What is this? Got a knot in the middle. I've just pulled it out. But there's a knot in the middle there. Ooh, the sun is coming out. David's on a half term this week, so he's gone into school, of course. He's gone into school to, one, because he forgot something. And two, he just wanted to kind of like get ahead, like get ready for next week. And because I'm painting the wall today, he didn't want anything to do with it. So he was like, oh, I've got so much stuff to do at school. Bye, 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 babe, bye. He hates painting the wall. So that's always good. Left me to do it on my own. Okay. Oh goodness, it's so bright. I might have to close the shade. But maybe not. Maybe it will go away. Yeah, I knew it would. I knew it would go away. So yeah, this is 6 strands, satin stitch, and we're doing tricky shapes. And obviously we can clean that up with the outline, so don't worry, don't fret. A big part of satin stitch though is learning how wide your thread is and how far apart to make the stitches. So I'm getting a little bit off track here. That's fine. Just go back and add a couple more in. Hello. Every time I say hello, Jesse's like, oh, me? Are you talking to me? Like, no, I am not talking to you. Just relax. Chill. Back on track. Oh. There you go. That's what I get for trying to save thread. Yeah, today's a bit boring, I'm sorry. But you can always save the other monstera leaf for catch-up day and do it on a Saturday. If you feel like, oh, I've done enough satin stitch, I can be done now. Like I don't want to do any more this week. Then save it for Saturday and do it then. This is also one that I like to do when I'm like watching TV or something because it's kind of mindless. You're just literally filling it in, like coloring almost. I think I'm gonna have an early lunch after this because I'm hungry. Let's see if I can't go all the way up. Behave. Do you guys talk to your embroidery as well? Or just me being an absolute nutcase? There you go. You can see the stitches a little bit better. I'm gonna add one more in there. And then back up to fill this part in and we're finished. You made it. And like I said earlier, we will do an outline for these, so don't worry about the border if you're like, oh my gosh, this is out of control. Don't worry, we're gonna outline it. We're going to outline these little things as well. We'll just end up making it up as we go. Because obviously we've stitched over the guide, so don't worry about it. And they're all leaves in nature, so they're a little bit crazy. That's just how they be, you know? Let's go one more for that little tip, and then we'll go straight back over here. That's my knot from earlier. got any questions or anything? Kind of like Satin Stitch isn't that exciting, but it is very useful. And it's something that I find that at first I really did not like, but the more that I've used it and the more that I've realized that it doesn't have to be perfect, I find I use it all the time now. And we're just doing the leaves. We're not doing the stems. So these right here, leave those alone. I think I need one more. Very nice, Tori. Well done. I made it. Okay, so there's one leaf finished. I'll zoom out and then turn it back around so you can see. Oh my God, this sun is like killer. So there it is, each side. I put that on there because it helps to focus on this, and then it color corrects the rest of it to be lighter. So you don't think I'm crazy. So there we go. That's one leaf down. So if you can do one leaf today, please do. If you can do 2 leaves today, you're amazing. But we'll also do one on Saturday for catch-up day, I think. We'll see how I get on with like painting and stuff, because I do have a lot of stuff to do to finish. So I hope you have a lovely Monday. I'll be announcing the giveaway winners from Saturday's giveaway in just a little bit. I'm going to put the pre-order up for the Mother's Day hoop. Let's have a look. I did a sneak peek before, so I feel like I should do a sneak peek for you here. So it'll look kind of like that. And then there'll be a bunch of different things you can put for the middle. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely Monday. All right, bye.